What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from Arizona in the warmth.
In the warmth.
Actually, it's not live at all. I don't know why I said coming to you live. It's coming to you pre-recorded.
Yeah, exactly.
We ran away from the rain,
God,
Brad.
you ran from the rain. I wish I could run from this snow.
Really?
Dude, we got a nice bit last night. Was it last?
Just last week's episode, it was all about you shooting in the snow. Now you don't want it.
I want it when I don't have to shovel it, when it's a big dump. Like we had 40. Yeah, we had 45 centimeters overnight. Some places.
Dang. Yeah, that's like 18 inches of snow. Yeah.
And then it just kept snowing after that. So it's like, yesterday was like a big day of shoveling. Wake up this morning, another big day.
No.
But like even luckily for us, St. John's, so the city, so like half an hour, 20-minute drive from where I am, they ended up getting, Paradise, which is like 15 minutes drive, they ended up getting 78 centimeters. So it's like almost double of what.
Snow? Jeez, yeah, that's crazy.
Right? Like we had our huge, like what was like nationally known or whatever, that Snowmageddon. It was a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah,
I think it was 2020, and it like shut down the whole city or like, like most of the province for like multiple days. We even had to get like the military to come in. That one was only like, I think 199 or 100. So this wasn't far off for certain areas. So yeah, we got nailed. I love it. Love the snow, but the shoveling and getting cleared out. Oh, dude.
Totally. The photography part of it is beautiful. It's every other part of it that's like, no thanks.
Exactly.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
I know. And then here's us.
So is it hot there?
Oh, it's getting a little chilly in Vegas and it might drizzle. We're like, let's leave.
Let's leave.
Really hard.
It's fun.
It's I mean, let's see. Right now it's 53, which for you is 11. And then it's been going up to about like, I think around 70. It's been really nice, right? So that's 21 for you. So, I mean, just it's kind of beautiful, you know. It's really nice.
Nice. Yep, just real nice.
And that's why we came here. Yeah. So we're in Lake Havasu City is what it's called.
Okay.
Arizona, just on the California border. And we were just trying to stay out of the rain. Like all of California is getting nailed by rain just for like a week on and off. And so we just didn't want to be around that. And then Vegas was getting some rain and the temps were just dropping significantly. So going to be around freezing every morning and evening and everything. And so there was just, again, we were like, you know what, let's just, it was a 3-hour drive. It was like nothing, you know? And all of a sudden, like it was enough to make that much of a difference. No rain here, just been nice and sunny most of the time. And so that's where we're at, but there's not much.
Nice.
I haven't really been looking for photography, but there's not much going on here. So not that I've seen anyway. Like this morning's hike.
No.
Yeah, Emily and I did a nice hike this morning. Really beautiful. Like through this like canyon wash, and then all of a sudden it just like pops you out up on the top of this kind of hill, and just beautiful view as far as you could see. We did it just a little before sunrise, and so we had the whole thing to ourselves. And then it gets to there was like this peak right in the middle of just like rolling hills, and then just like this giant rock just sticking straight up. And you could go to that and then hike around it, and apparently you could climb up the thing. I could not find a way safe to do it that felt safe for me. I mean, there was a couple things like I'll push myself pretty decent, and I was getting I'm like, you know what, this is probably not worth it. Just like a lot of loose rock and stuff like that. So I don't know if I just couldn't find the right path up, or if some people are just really courageous and I'm not. But
exactly.
There was a pair of ravens like nesting around there for sure. Anytime like I walked in this one area, they were like kind of freaking out, and I saw one flying with like nesting material in its beak. So I got a few shots of them like flying around, but I was trying not to bug them too much. And then there was some rock wrens. I may have gotten a shot of that, but that was all this morning. I haven't even had time to look it up, you know, or like import the stuff. We just got back like less than an hour ago, so that'll be next week's episode if I have anything good from it.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, for sure.
And so in fact, I only have a couple things from Vegas. I'll just show you a couple photos from a hike we did there. I'll do that quick, and then we can show your stuff, because yours is going to segue a little bit more into a topic for everybody watching. We don't have any other stuff to talk about today, just a couple of photos from me from Vegas. Brad's got some photos, and that's going to segue into our topic, which is how to see the same location fresh and kind of approach it a little bit differently. So that'll be good. But yeah, dude, here's all that happened for me, man. It was just like this one little, I think it's an Anna's hummingbird, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. That sliver of light.
Right?
It's perfect.
I know. I love it. I
just
love
enough.
when they stay there and they just sit there. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's just, we've talked about this so much, but I love how my mind works with this stuff now, you know, and like any photographer that just, when you get so much experience, you can just glance at the scene and just be like, oh, I want it. I want that bird right here, you know?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened, you know? Like I saw this scene and I was like way over here to the left and he was just like up in the whatever sky, you know, off to the right. And he took off chasing another one, came back, and then landed in the same spot. And I'm like, okay, that's his spot. He's going to stay there. Even if he flies away, he's probably going to come right back to it, you know, because that's like his little lookout perch. And it was just beautiful morning. It was like prior to sunrise. Emily was still just finishing up, getting ready before we were going to do the hike. So I was just standing outside. I mean, I was like, I don't know, 50 steps away from the van here when I walked out. Because I was just outside. I'm like, the sky is gorgeous. I just want to be out looking around. And so this was at Red Rock Canyon. I think it's like a national recreation area or something like that outside of Vegas. And yeah, I see the bird there. I had the 28-400. So this was 140 millimeter. Just to show off more of that Red Rock stuff, you know. And then I shot one at 280 millimeter just to make the bird larger. And then I shot these two as well, just to kind of line them up with some of the Red Rock and show off the actual, instead of silhouette the bird, you know.
The layers too. Yep.
Yeah, like these are decent, but I feel like they don't come close.
So more,
to the drama and the sky and everything else on the others, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of
definitely.
I don't know about you. You know, I do think about, like, I shouldn't be always silhouetting everything, but in a scenario like this, when it's just flat light against a rock like that, I'm like, this is, I mean, yeah, sure, it shows off the Red Rock. It's kind of fine back there, but I mean, compared to that, I don't think there's a competition.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, I guess the only thing is, unless you're really wanting to show off the details of the bird and go in super tight, to get that kind of a shot. But when you have this, like you said, full scene, dramatic clouds, you know it's going to bring drama into it. But I'm the same as you. Like, there's moments where time has passed, a couple of weeks of shooting or whatever, and I'm like, geez, man, like, all I'm posting silhouettes. Like, this is like, you know, after a while, like, even my own self, I miss, you know, like a little bit of detail in the bird. And I'm like, you know, it was after a while, I'm like, man, I'm like really not showing off these birds. It's just more about the drama and the light. And so I get it. But like you said, to compare either one of the other images compared to that top left one, it's like, take that all day.
Absolutely.
So was it like, is it feeding on anything? Like, why was it in that particular spot? Like, I see leaves down in that one.
Oh yeah, I think some of the stuff
going after
some of the bushes flower a little bit, and other than that, I think they just hit up insects. You know, I think that's what they do a lot of. Yeah, but there is a lot of flowering stuff, and dude, it's crazy. I didn't know, we haven't hung out enough in the desert to really understand the seasons and everything of it. But at least where we are here in southern Arizona right now, it's like this is the season for the wildflowers right now. These places I've been biking, it's just covered in purple and yellow flowers everywhere. It's stunning.
Oh, no way.
This hike this morning, just flowers all over the place. Yeah, it's amazing, man. And so I keep saying, I'm like, cool. Wow, it would be cool if I could photograph something in this, but it's just, there doesn't seem to be much around. And I don't know, I'm in the mode again where I just don't really want to put in that much effort on it, you know? Unless I see a potential. Like if I see
definitely
some scenario that kind of sparks my interest, then I'll put effort in on it. But so far, I haven't really seen that. And before we move on, there's one other thing that's kind of funny that you pointed out too. Is just like, it is a good alternative, I think, to try and go close and zoom in on these. I never think of it. It doesn't even cross my mind in these scenarios. No? Well, because the scenery is so beautiful. All I'm thinking about is how do I include this habitat with my subject? I don't even think about, like, I could have done this. Now, that was 270 millimeter, right? I could have moved to the left, thrown them right against that 400 millimeter, and moved in a little bit and just had them with a nice, like, orangey background or something like that. Probably would have looked okay. But again, it was also complete, like, flat light. Like, look at the light. It's just kind of whatever.
And look at a stick. It'd just be like a plain stick.
It'd be a stick
like,
with an orange background.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty bird, so the bird on its own could kind of help it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just funny how it doesn't even really cross my mind. Like, it never crossed my mind to go, oh, maybe get a portrait too, even though I had that lens on.
See, it's so funny because, like, I feel like I'm, like, you and I are on two ends of the spectrum here. I'm always like, portrait and slowly inching my way out. And you're like out, right? Struggling to tell yourself to
don't take the portrait at all. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
It is funny. Yeah. But I think it's a mistake to be stuck either way, you know? Like, it's really good to have in your mind to try and shoot the diversity when you can, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why wouldn't I want a nice portrait showing off the colors of this beautiful little bird too? That would have actually been nice to have, you know? And so it's a good reminder for me to try and do more like this, you know?
Yeah,
oh, look at that. Sure. Did you see that?
But
Did you see that segue flawlessly
that was like
into
smooth.
this? I mean, I just nailed that.
But it you know, it's good in the sense that, like, because even in this scenario with that outing that I had, like, looking back at it, because even when I shared the video that I showed you of, like, the whole scene, I'm like, why didn't I shoot this even wider?
Yeah.
Like, I did shoot some where I felt like the bird was smaller, but when I look back, I'm like, okay, it's crashing waves or whatever, but, like, there's certain scenarios where I'm like, why didn't I? And it's just like I struggle. I really do, to kind of push myself out of that portrait or mid-range, mid-size kind of bird in frame.
Well, let's keep that in mind when we look through this, and for everybody listening too. Let's see if we can pick out ones where it may have worked nicely to go even wider. Because the challenge there is too, you do have to always remember, because this is our goal, you and I know this, is we still want it to be a bird photo. You're not trying to make a landscape photo, you know? So you still want that bird to stand out and be the main subject. And so you can so easily just go, well, my lens goes wide, and just go really wide. And then everything gets lost in there. And then it's not the subject anymore. But I think I know what you're talking about. I think there's some photos here where it could totally work that way.
Certainly. And I think the thing is too, like, I shouldn't say that I don't attempt it. I think I do. I'll often like, because if I have the 1 to 400, I'll go at 100 and I quickly dismiss it. I'm like, there's too many distractions. Like, I don't spend the time, because I'm like, bird's right there, light's cool. Yeah. I can do something portraity or whatever, mid-range or mid-size, I should be saying, with the bird. But as soon as I start going a little bit wider, I'm like, this is getting in front. And, like, instead of staying at that 100 and going, okay, but let's piece the puzzle. Maybe there is something that I got to work a little bit harder at. I'll sometimes bail out of that whole thing, and I think I need to stick with it a little bit more.
No, I get that.
Than I've been doing. Yeah.
Do you ever think when you do that, when you zoom out, let's say you zoom out in a scenario to 100 millimeter, and you're like, it's getting a little busy. Do you ever think about potential for how you could crop in post to clean it up too, instead of just zoom lens? Because, you know, we can, like, crop it more narrow or more tall or whatever. I definitely have had that a few times cross my brain when I'm shooting like that. And it's not often enough, but it's kind of like, well, I want the width of this, but I don't want all this space up here or all this crap below.
Yeah.
But if I zoom in tighter to get rid of that, then I'm not getting the sort of the width of the shot that I want. And so in my mind, I'll go, well, I'll just shoot the wide shot and then crop the distractions out, you know? But that's a tougher one to remember at times too for me.
It is. Yep, it is. And I've done it a few times where, like, you know, something might be creeping in the top of the frame or something as I go wider. But like I said, I wanted that thing that was on the right to be in it. And I've done it, but I've had, like I said, occasions where as soon as I do and I see that thing, I'm like, no, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I could just either crop it out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
So yeah, what do you want to kind of talk a little bit about how your outing this week became this week's topic and what that topic
Definitely. Is. Yeah, certainly. So, this time of year, there's not a ton of stuff to photograph. So Purple Sandpipers is like a big go-to for me. So I'll definitely make a few outings to go see them. And, I've photographed them ever since I've been living back here in 2010. So it's like I've had so many outings, and there's so many times where like I'll walk away from it, all kinds of drama, big waves, like everything happening, and I get home and I'm like, I got portraits that like barely show the rock, and like I just didn't capture like all this movement and chaos and everything. So that was my plan. So I went, brought the 500, because like sometimes depending the waves, depending how everything is happening in that environment, like and where they're finding food or where they're deciding to stay, sometimes it's not accessible. Like they're just at a range where you need that 500, even just to get like a mid-size shot of them. So I had it. I had the 1-400. I even had the bokeh lens, but I didn't. Stupid me, because looking back, there was an opportunity, man, where I should have used it. But I had the 1-400 on, nice. I think at the time. But anyways, so showed up that morning. It was going to be, I think it was actually just going to be like overcasty. I think there was maybe a potential of snow. So I didn't really expect like any decent light or anything. Like, it was just kind of just going to go and try to do maybe something a little bit different. So it was in the back of my mind to do some slow shutter speed stuff, to kind of just like play around with some movement and some, just some of the big waves that kind of crashed and happened in that area. And dude, so when I showed up, so like that first portrait was like one of the first shots that I took, because as soon as I showed up, it was like perfect. It was a big, large group, maybe about 80 birds or something like that. Nice. There ended up being like 200 in this flock. Like at one point, like this flock is getting bigger and bigger as the season's going on.
That's awesome.
So right away, like the light, there was just this, like it was like and I wish I had shared a picture. But the sky above was like this, like pinks and purples, and just like it was just this beautiful glow. So you can kind of see it on this bird now.
For sure.
So I grabbed a few shots, and after I grabbed them and they kind of moved around, the light shifted a little bit. I was still with the 500. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I know I'm going to fall down the exact same trap again. Yeah, I did. I'm like, okay, stop. You've shot a shots, you've got some nice portraits.
Yeah.
You got to do something different now. Nice. Like even if the light gets incredible, I got to do something different.
So can I pause you real quick?
So anyways, yeah, definitely.
I think that's the hardest part as a photographer, is that moment, because things were going well. I mean, look at this portrait. It's a gorgeous portrait. The light is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's working really well. When things are going well with what you're doing, it's so hard to kind of pause, stop, and recognize, hey, I'm doing the same thing I've done however many times, or even if, I mean, and this can be compressed into a single outing. Even if it's the first time you've been anywhere, if you're just shooting something and not changing your perspective, not changing the way you move around, and it's all just shooting like the similar stuff over and over again, I think it's almost easier when something changes, like, oh, the light severely changed and that's not working anymore, or whatever. When it stops working, then it kind of causes you to slow down and be like, oh, what else can I do here? Because you don't have a choice. Yep. But when it's working, man, it's hard to not just keep doing it. And then you walk away from the outing, like you said so many times, like, okay, I got amazing portraits again.
Again. Yeah, definitely. And the thing was, so thankfully, in the back of my mind, I'm like, listen, I shot purples 2 weeks ago, let's say, and I had gotten them with incredible light in the background. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, you got good shots. Like you've already posted some, like, let's kind of move on. What can we do different? So actually the flock, for whatever reason on this particular day, they were pretty flighty. Not anything I was doing, because I'd be sitting there for a nice bit, and even be like, sometimes like waves would kick them up and move them around. But dude, they'd be just all chilling, just like feeding away, and just bam, like at a flick. And so every time I'd look around. There's usually like a peregrine falcon that kind of hangs out sometimes. He may pass through the area, or you know, who knows, some other bird of prey. So I didn't see it. But anyways, it kept them a bit flighty. So they left this first area and kind of looped around the point over on the other side. And this is I love this other side because they rarely go over there because the waves they can't get like really down. The rocks are bigger. It's like a bigger area. And then there's like a huge drop. So the waves are crashing into this and it feels like they can't get down to where they kind of want to feed. So they don't typically hang there.
Yeah.
But when they do, this is where the light's like really good. And you
nice.
like I've had really good opportunities. So if you flip to the video, that kind of shows kind of where they were. So as you can see, backlit.
So cool.
There's so there's like this huge rock that's out in the ocean and the waves were just kind of like crashing over. And I was like, oh, this is so perfect. I mean, you're just getting all this drama in the background. I'm like, I've got to do something. Got to definitely do some slow shutter speed stuff. You know, of course, typical fashion, I had to grab my couple portraits first. So if you go to the next couple images, but there was just something about like that mood of the like light that was kind of coming in.
Yeah.
Because it's fun because that's that wave crashing over before it kind of gets that full washout.
Sure.
And then it kind of was like, I guess because it was darker, because it was like a little bit backlit shaded kind of area because of where it dropped.
Yep.
You still got that glow on the bird. Like just, it was just something different about the light and just the way it works. So, and I love that odd little textures like you could see within it. And
absolutely.
So just kind of definitely wanted to play around with that a little bit. Then I shifted into slow shutter speed stuff. So for me, because like as you're even watching it, dude, like you're looking through the viewfinder, and as this like you're seeing this motion of the water like kind of washing out over the rock and moving around, you're like, you know, if you're shooting at a higher shutter speed, like you're freezing that. Sometimes it looks great, but I think once you can incorporate, once you can incorporate that bit of motion, it just elevates it that much more.
I'd love to, real quick, because this was before you went slow shutter, but this is obviously, this was the switch from the 500 previous shot to the 100 to 400 here, and you shot this at 240 millimeter. And just seeing these side by side, I can't help but think, and I'd love to hear feedback from everybody watching on this. And then obviously, you know, I'm going to ask you this question, but to me, the difference of the size in the bird here is so negligible. Like, yes, I understand the left bird is a little bit closer, but I feel like I can see the bird just as good. I can see just as many details in the one on the right, but the one on the right shows me so much more of what's happening back there. And I'm not saying that is necessarily better or worse. The left one is maybe a little bit more abstract in the background, which can be kind of fun. But like, I guess my point is, if you are trying to show it off, and I'm just leaning to the one to the right, it just kind of fits into my preferences more. It just feels like going, like the bird's plenty recognizable there. And I can see just about the same details as I can here. You know what I mean? Other than maybe like one little foot up, and I can't quite see that there, but that's more of maybe like a perspective thing, or maybe he had his foot down. And I just love seeing all of the other stuff. I can see more of the water. I can see the gradient from cool to the warm tone back there that you don't get at all here. You know what I mean? And I don't know, my point, I guess my question is there a big enough difference to even justify the closer shot in this case, you know, other than the fact that like, it's just a more different abstract background.
Yeah. So for me, what caught my attention, so I should even like dial back and I'll cover that a little bit more. Like when I walked over to this spot, so I knew I could see around the corner. I seen where they were too, right? So I was like, okay, there's just a few over there. And the group I was working with at the time was just that like 70, 80 kind of group. Anyways, dude, walked over there, saw one kind of up on this rock, climbed all the way down all these rocks. I mean, as you get down, it's like, okay, where are they? Where'd they go? Whatever. Anyways, when I peeked out over this one rock, dude, it was just littered. So this is where like the 200.
Gotcha.
They were just everywhere.
That's cool.
So this one particular, because you saw it even in the video, like there's like one or two that's always up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So this dude was up on this one little spot. There's like tons. I'd say there's about 20 underneath him.
Ah.
So I focused in on him first because he was preening.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, light, movement. I was you know, I wanted to show I was hoping, of course, every preening shot that I ended up getting, he was facing like the other way. They never really turned out great. So I guess for me at the time, that's what I got locked into. And for me, I felt like that was the opportunity then to maybe capture a unique pose, something a little bit different.
Yep, that makes
something
sense.
Whatever. And then, so as I shot a few of those, and then he kind of like stopped and he was just kind of like posed like this. I'm like, okay, all this drama's happening like in front of you. You can't ignore it. Like everything's just crashing and moving and the light. So I was like, okay, stop, switch your lens. Let's at least go wider on this. Because I couldn't go back anyways. If I went back, totally changed the perspective. I couldn't get any of that like glowing light then up above. So for me, that was the time then to do that. And I agree with what you're saying. Like in terms of seeing the bird and detailing the bird, there's no difference between the two. You know what I mean? Like there's absolutely not. I still know it's a purple sandpiper in the smaller one. Like very clearly, I can still see the texture-ish. You know what I mean? Like in him.
Yeah.
But now I see more of like what that scene was and the way the light was. And
no, but I'm glad you shared your thinking on that with him like preening and doing that stuff. Then that does make more interest to be closer up for that and kind of sort of eliminate more of the other. And I wouldn't call anything on the right a distraction, but more of the scenery, right? No. Because then you want it to be about that interesting pose and whatever he's doing, not all the other stuff. So I get it. Yep. So that's cool.
Definitely. And it's funny, dude. Cause like, so sometimes I'll see images from people like an abstracty one, like that tighter portrait, see the light that's hitting that bird and see whatever's going on and almost wonder what's that like.
Totally.
What else was there, right? Like I have moments where I'm like, ooh, what else is on the go in that scene? Like, where's the light coming from? What is that texture in the background?
Absolutely.
Like, so it's always nice sometimes to have the two, the two kind of things happening, right?
They both work so well, man. So great job
so it's good
on each one.
Yeah, I think.
And then that's when you went into the slow shutter stuff.
So then they were just like I said, 200 birds, some just chilling, and like. It was so hard because I was like, light was not bad on them. And I was like, leave them alone. There's ones over here. Drama's happening.
Yeah.
So, dude, man, I got to tell you, I love slow shutter speed stuff, but man, is it frustrating when you get home.
Yeah.
You shoot so many frames. I think I said to you, like, it was like, what, 2,500 or something?
It was something like that. I'm like, damn, dude. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't even increase my... shutter count either. I kept it at 10 and I was just like I was just hammering down on this thing, man. But I guess for me it's like they don't stop. They're steady feeding. They're constantly feeding. Because I mean, I guess like they're at a race a bit too when they're down closer to the water's edge, like when's the next wave coming? So you can feel that anxiousness of like feed. So it's rare like that they actually stop, pause, look up. So what I did realize though was when you were getting a good wave come in, like in this case, and it was gonna crash, they do that. Oh, do I jump? Yep. Do I fly? Like, is this big enough to? There's a perfect pause. So even this, I think I got like 5 or 6 frames of different water motion in the back, and him just like I was able to get him good and sharp. So yeah, so I played around with a couple different shutter speeds. Like I think in the beginning I might have done a couple at like 30 to 40 seconds, but they were just not like it was like I'm still seeing tons of texture. Does not. You had to go down to like the 10th, 13th. I don't know why this 13th for me seems to be like this sweet number. I've done it a few times with slow with slow shutter speed stuff. It's like it gives me that extra little bit to get the bird just sharp. I don't know. Anyways, maybe. Maybe it's just in my head, but so I love this one. I love the way in that
I'll come back.
other one, the way the waves kind of were like coming in across and then one up top. So it was almost like this. Yeah, it was just pouring in from every direction.
So much turmoil back there. So this is one that stands out to me as if there was no other birds when you zoomed out wider, this is one that could go even wider because he's standing. It's the dark bird against the white. I feel like that's one that, in theory, could totally work even smaller in frame.
So I shot and I guess I should have included it. I shot a wider-ish shot of this, and I'll tell you what I felt like didn't work. As you can see, the top half is starting to go calm. Yeah. As I go wider, it's even calmer up above. So to me, the drama was right where it was like crashing in here. So going wider, I was like, it was almost like I was removing that focal point of all that crashing happening. And then anything up above was just getting like calm water and not much drama happening. So it almost felt, to me, I wasn't adding more good context to the scene.
How about into the left of the frame? Like, was there good stuff out there? Because thinking again, what we were talking about just a little bit ago, right? Like the pano crop out of that, crop out the boring part up top.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anyway. I guarantee there was more. Yeah.
It seemed like it, yeah. But I get what you're saying. And I know exactly what you're talking about, right? Because as soon as you get into not the water actively crashing over the rocks, it's not moving that much. It's just kind of like stationary up there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I totally get that.
So, that makes sense. So before you go to the next image, we're talking about wider scene. So just click back to the video for a second. Don't play it, but just click it. So it's got the scene there. When I saw this video, I'm like, why didn't I shoot that?
Right?
Look at that.
Yeah. I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when you're talking about cropping out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would have been
right
darker.
There. You would lose. You'd
that
want to
bird
crop
sat
this
up
top
there.
Out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
I know. Exactly.
And I was like, as soon as I went to post, it was funny because as soon as I went to send it to you in their group chat, I was like, why didn't I shoot that picture? Like, why didn't I shoot that scene in itself? Like, because at 100, I probably could have, I'm sure I could have zoomed out enough that I would have got, I mean, there was a lot of other birds around, but there were points when, look, you see a bird was sat up top. There were moments where there was a single bird.
Absolutely. I mean,
as you saw when I first started the video.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally. Like,
so
there,
looking at that first frame, I'm like, what?
That's so funny.
Why didn't I shoot it? Because it would have worked really nice.
Yeah.
It really would have.
Yeah.
So there, So I think there were.
That's what I was thinking of, right? Like the pano in here, because you're right. Everything from my cursor up is all just going to be, it's not going to add. It's going to be too bright, probably, because of the way you have to expose for getting that movement down in there. And it's not going to show enough movement. It's going to be choppy water up there. So yeah, I feel like it's like here and below, but there's the pano, right? And it's just movement all throughout there. If you can get that isolated bird, or if you can get lucky and have like a grouping of them, could even work, right? If they're all facing it the right way, harder to do. But that would be pretty epic as well. Like a lineup of them all getting ready with the wave and movement in the background, right? Like there you go. So reason to go back, right?
Yeah. Exactly. But I guess even reason then to like take a lens that is going to force me into this wider pocket, like this wider scene, like a 24-70 or something like that. Or I don't know, or like even my 70 to 200
would maybe be ideal.
Yep. I think so. I think that's going to be an option for sure.
And listen, just for everybody watching too, like to clarify, we're not saying there's anything wrong with, like, these photos are amazing. You know,
definitely.
It's just a continued evolution. And this is what Brad and I do all the time. Even off the show, when we share photos, we're always like, oh man, I love this, but what about this option? Or what about that? And it's like, that's part of what we're doing here, right? And that's, I think, how it ties into this topic is we're always trying to evolve and find something. How else can we view this? How else can we capture this? What else can we try? And more so with the limitations that you have, which are connect to most other photographers, which is going to the same location and working with the same species. I get the freedom of, seeing new stuff all the time. And not that I get to ignore this, that it still applies, but it's just maybe not quite as obvious, I guess, or quite as imperative for me to think about it all the time. But yeah, man, I love what you did here. Like seeing all of these, this was another killer one, and we haven't even gotten to my favorite yet.
Yeah, all the emotion. And like to go back to what you say, like this location to me is like it looks so amazing. And I've struggled so much to capture like a grander scene in it, more motion in it. Like I think I'm honed in more on that now. I've come away with so many great portraits there that I think like I'm loving that that's what I'm doing, and I'm inching closer. Like I love all these shots.
Yeah.
But there feels like there's still this grander shot to me or something that I feel like I want to pull off. I almost there last year. I had like layers and there's waves, but I think
I remember last year.
But I think there's still there's still, because dude, man, like some of the waves. I'm hoping you get here sometime in around the winter months, because like just the huge waves there, you just want to include them. It's hard. Yeah. Things really got to line up, but I'm hoping one day to get just this massive looking wave in the back and just everything else. So. Yeah, I'm chipping away at it, but so the rest of the morning was just like, I was having a blast. I think it was one of my favorite outings, and this feels like kind of one of my that was so much fun. All those textures, like of that wave, just huge wave, just crashing. Yeah, that was.
It looks like it's standing in front of a waterfall,
right? Yeah,
right.
Oh, dude, there's some again. So annoying because of like the movement, the birds always move, but there's so many that I have that just have this like, it feels like a huge mountain with multiple waterfalls kind of cascading down. Like I got this scene, and then the bird is just like never stopped at all. So this was a question I was going to ask you, and I should have included one maybe, but like, there are shots that I took where the body is pretty well close to tack, but like the head is moving.
Yeah.
Those shots, do you feel like still kind of works, like in a sense that, like, and I guess you obviously would have to see the shot, but like in this case, if his head was moving, would it work? No, hey?
I think
and that's why I was the same as me.
I think it's the other way. If the head was still and the body was moving, I'd be fine.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Because I think I have one where like the head is almost tack sharp, but there's like butt kind of shifted, like his tail. So you see that movement, but his head is sharp. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yep.
But I was wondering, I think Jamin did, and I've seen other people do, Jamin Taylor, our good friend, the woodpecker. I think then it works because the context of, well, that's what they do. They ram their heads, like they're breaking up but I think here, but I don't know. Then I was like trying to convince myself too. So I'm like, well, like, they were feeding. And
But you know what I think hurts it more, Brad, here is because you have the other movement. You know?
I know.
The photo that Jamin did, it's telephoto. There's
everything's static.
No other movement happening anywhere else. Everything's static. So the movement is the bird, which is the context of that's what woodpeckers do. And sure, if you were showing these guys just against a rock and you were trying to show the frantic movement of the feeding, maybe then I think it would make sense. But movement of the head on top of or layered onto the movement of the water, I feel like that's just going to be too much.
Yeah.
I think that's why it maybe doesn't work for us in that regard, you know?
Gotcha.
But yeah, it is tough. But I love this, dude. Yeah, this one. And then
it's cool.
Yeah, no, all this stuff. Like, it's so cool too, because
and I love that.
So much of this, isn't this stuff, one of the things I love about slow shutter movement in waves is you don't know what you're going to get. You can't really fully predict it.
No idea.
Because everything else we shoot with a high shutter speed, what you're seeing, especially now with mirrorless, literally what you're seeing in that viewfinder the moment you press it, that's the photo. Like you're seeing it as you press the shutter button. You know exactly how everything's going to play out and look. When you do this, you don't know. You don't know if it's going to be sharp, if the bird's going to hold still, and then if it does, you don't know what exactly the water. You have an idea. You totally have an idea, but you don't know exactly how it's going to look. And so it encourages you to take more because you're like, oh, but the water did a splash here that it didn't do on the frame or two before or whatever, you know? And that to me is so fun. It's just such a fun element, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely exciting. Yeah, I agree. Because even with this shot, like for me, there's so many layers of movement and like different textures of the water, because like you got that almost looks like a river running behind them, right? Because that's just one of the other waves that crashed over. You get the crash in the back. Then what looks almost like clouds to me
It
at
does.
first. Like when you first look, it almost looks like sky. That's just the end of that wave crashing right in behind.
Absolutely.
So it's like, but it's so it's just wild, man. And like it just makes the scene look different. Like to me, this almost looks like I was lid down eye level, shooting down through a scene of like, you know, waves crashing in the back and then a bit of a sky. But I mean, this is like literally me stood on rock shooting down
into the ocean.
Right. And this is a wave crashing in behind. Yeah. Like it's just, it's just gives a totally different feel.
So this is one to me, Brad, that feels compositionally ideal. This one to me feels like if I go any wider, and I don't know what's out there, but I'm just visually with what I can see, everything feels just right. Like the fact that you included that, like the end of the whitewash and the wave here ends in here with the rocks kind of sealing it off, anchoring it off here. We get to see the water fall off on this side. It feels like any wider with the direction the bird's facing, you're going to want to put the space to the left. And I don't need to see just more rock over there. You know, I don't need to see more of this big crashing because it's so far away from the bird. It's just doesn't feel like it's going to balance it. Whereas this one feels like, sure, I could see more of that. This could feel like it could come out wider. So to me, it sort of lays out like this. It feels like all of these, and I'm saving the last one just because it's my favorite. I don't want to spoil it yet. All of these that sort of have mostly just white and movement all behind them can handle more space. But then when you get more rocks in play like this, then I think certain compositions just fit, and just adding space for adding space sake doesn't make sense. I don't know how you feel about it all.
And I agree too. And I think in this kind of scenario too, like, you know, we're dealing with a bird that's not like bright colored or
correct.
You know, it's just like fat little shorebird, basically, right? This plump little shorebird that I think going wider and adding more of these dark elements, you're losing that subject even more. Then, unless for some reason, you know, if that other dark rock wasn't right behind and was just all whitewash, well, maybe as we go wider, we're never going to lose.
Yeah.
But I think if you brought, like I said, the rocks that were more on the right there, and I think this side went up higher. Yeah. Like, you know, like, now you're just going to even lose the bird even more. So,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this shot. It was one of my favorite. When I looked, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, it just had a different feel from the other ones.
Nice. And then we got this one. Oh, man, I love it.
And, you know, but it's funny, man. So do you ever have like, well, I know you do. I know the question of this, but you have outings, you're shooting all kinds of different stuff, but then all of a sudden, either something happens or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's the shot. Like, it was one of these moments where it was like, oh, I just watched it happening in the camera as I was shooting. I'm like, oh, and the way it splashed up, I was like, oh, this is the one. Yeah, so I was really stoked when this one all came together.
And then the other thing has happened. The flip side of that is I've taken photos and I didn't catch it in the moment, how great it is. Yeah. And then I only shot like one or two and then moved on. And then I get back and I'm like, oh my God, why did I not stay with that and work it a little bit more and get the best, you know?
Yeah.
It was just like, how did I miss that? You know? Totally. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's so funny. But I love that this one has.
But this one worked really
well. The light
well.
hitting it really just made it more interesting. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this was like, I'm pretty sure this was that part of that rock scene that we were watching in the video of it just pouring down and over. You can see the light was kind of hitting that rock, silhouetted, and just drama, just all that big, huge splash coming into the scene. So I have like 10 different frames of that with different water, but this one I like the textures and that extra little bit of flare coming, absolutely, like the droplets spraying off. So I was really, really happy with it.
So I got a question now. The shutter speed and aperture. So you're at ISO 64, your base ISO, as low as it goes. Do you know if that was the maximum aperture? Was 25 as high as it goes? I think it might be.
No.
I can't remember. Does it go 32?
It goes up to like 32. Yep.
Okay. So you're getting like another 32. Third of a stop or something, whatever that number. I don't know. It's not much. Did you think about or entertain or even try going even slower with the shutter speeds? And and the other part of that question is, were all these shots handheld? They were in your hand?
Yep. Oh,
okay, so you weren't like resting it on a rock or anything?
Okay. Stood up.
That's what I thought. Okay. So I was wondering if you had thought about going even slower shutter speed with like resting the camera on a rock, trying to get a stable platform, and going into like the, the sub 10th of a second, or getting into that like half second ballpark, or any of that kind of stuff. But I'm guessing the birds are they'd have to be resting for that to work.
So that was the biggest problem. 100%. After the fact, I really was like, maybe I should have. Like, even as I was walking back to my vehicle, I almost was like, the light's still not bad. Maybe I should go back and like try like, you know what I mean? Like 1 second or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something really. But it's just, to me, for my eye and watching it, there were rare moments where they were just standing still enough. Like, it was a struggle just to get them at a 10th of a second or a 13th where they felt sharp, right? So I was like pushing it that much further. Like, I think I could handhold it, or I mean, I guess at 1 second I'm gonna have to rest it on a rock or something. But it just felt like they were just not staying. I think if I stayed longer, like if it was one of those days where the light was workable, was no like harsh light or anything, as they progressed into the morning, they'll probably start chilling, resting. But dude, I find just like any other shorebird, the minute they do, head is tucked into the wing.
A lot. Yeah.
Right? So it's like, now you're not getting this. Yeah, it's just a blob then. So
totally.
Again, not an excuse, because there would be, I'm sure, opportunities when it would happen. But no, I agree. I would like to. But, in saying it, then like picture that scene there at 1 second. Now it's a lot creamier looking, less textured.
Totally.
Yeah, like I think that
sometimes it can be too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this like 10th of a second, 13th is like a sweet spot. Well,
I think it depends on the water that's moving and where it is.
Certainly.
With a big splash like this, I think it's absolutely ideal. We're getting to see the movement, but we still get to see the individual water drops and the texture that happens, right? But then if it's more of just like, it's not a big crash, but it's like just that slow swelling over the rocks, those could look amazing at like a second or something like that, So I think it probably depends. And then the other question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I think it's another interesting conversational point. And again, one I pose to everybody listening. Let me know in the comments. Did you ever think about, well, let me just go 60th of a second here, grab a sharp shot, hold it right there, and then just lower my shutter, and then get the wave movement, and then just you would like compose, like merge them in post,
It wasn't a thought, and again, I don't know that they would even. Yeah, I guess if it moved, I could then still merge.
Exactly.
The bird guarantee would never stay there.
No, the bird doesn't have to. It's just shoot for the wave, shoot for the movement, and shoot for the sharp bird, and then put them together in post.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
says it all. It's not.
I guess
the same,
for
right?
me, like it's
just not the same.
It's not the same.
I
it's
know.
not the same. It makes me think of this in-camera multi-exposure thing that everyone's trending on. I can't get behind. Like I guess what I'm thinking is like, if there was a scenario where I had, I don't know, like a really cool species that was like on a rock next to a river, feeding, doing a certain thing, and like it was a one-time kind of deal. Maybe I would play around with it, and then like, if that's the shot, I felt like that was the only shot that I could make work, where I would have to use the slow one with the frozen bird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I think I could, convince myself, but if I can do it without doing multiple and then merge it all, like in post after and stuff,
But here's the thing, I think about it like this, right? It's just like, let's devil's advocate this. Yeah, photography is art. Okay. We can do whatever we want, right? There's no actual laws or rules on any of this stuff. So in theory, the concept could yield a stunning photo. It could look really beautiful, right? You could do like a 30-second exposure on a tripod and have the water just all kinds of movement and silky smooth, dreamy, and then have the shot of the bird sharp in there. And it's not. I feel like there's a difference between, I shot the bird over here doing something different, then I came over here and lined it up with this, and then now composited it. If it's all like, well, technically it happened right here in the frame. I didn't move the camera. I didn't reframe it. All I did was change my shutter speed between the two exposure and maybe aperture to match, exposure, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Is there really that big? Like the bird was there and the wave was there. And I'm just using two different exposures to represent those two different moments with different movements and then blending them together. In theory, all of that, who cares? And then I create this beautiful photo. But in the end, dude, I'm the same as you. I'm like, yeah, but it's all just, it didn't happen in one click. And it's like, why are we so stuck on that? But I am.
And to add to that, it seems like it's, I can't, obviously not, it's individual preference, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But our genre of photography seems to go against, I mean, you did a lot of landscape your own self, or you've done it in the past, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of landscape photographers that
bracket exposures like crazy and
brackets. They're like shooting like exactly like doing wallflowers, wind is blowing, okay, crank it up, freeze that, get this mid frame, get that background, get the sky.
Absolutely.
Like, they do
macro
multiple
photography,
and everyone
same thing.
Everybody loves it. Yeah, same thing.
It's fine.
Right? But for whatever reason.
What is the deal? Yeah. It's an interesting
because I don't know anyone
concept
that does it. I mean, have you known anyone that's like done like shot a wildlife shot, got the bird or subject frozen in frame, did like a slow motion thing, and then like, do you know anyone that does that frequently?
I don't know if I've ever shared it. And if I did, I certainly told everybody what I did. Oh, definitely. In the moment. I've definitely done it. And that's why I brought it up, because I'm like, conceptually, that's the easiest thing to do. The way to go, right? Yeah. It's just like, wait for your bird, plunk it on a tripod, wait for your bird to come into place, shoot it at a reasonable shutter speed, and then do the next shot, wait for the damn thing to move, get it out of there, and then shoot your scene with a nice, a bunch of different shutter speeds and pick the one you like, plop the bird in, done, piece of cake, right? And here's the other thing, right? You can do that in camera multiple exposures, and then it's valid in contest. Like, true. What's the difference there than doing what we're saying? None. It's that aspect of it is bizarre, but you can't do it in the computer and it be valid for a contest. Like, what's the difference there? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway,
but that's what I'm saying. I don't know any active photographer out there that makes that a thing. Because I mean, that could be a potential thing. Just like you say, like they're actually, this is what they go. They go and shoot, scenes where there's movement around water, and then they're getting birds, and they're doing multiple exposures for each of the subjects. So I don't know anyone that does that. But again, I don't know. It's just for me. I know. No. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I know it. Yeah. Which is why I asked and brought it up, because I thought it would be
because when you can get it like that in one frame and you're scrolling through and you're like, oh my God, it's actually sharp. He stayed. I got the movement. Like, nothing's removed out of this frame. Like, this is it. Right? Like, to me, it's way more rewarding.
I think that's what it boils down to. And I think that's what is an interesting part about wildlife photography for photographers like you and me, and I think a lot of people listening, which is we are chasing the fleeting moment. We're chasing and trying to capture the thing that's hard, the thing that only happens for a split second or a 13th of a second or whatever the shutter speed may be. We're chasing that excitement. We're not just only trying to make a beautiful photo, because if it was only about making the beautiful photo, well, who cares how it was made? Yeah, exactly. If it's just about the end result, which it can be, and I'm not judging anybody that does approach it that way, right? It can be just about the end result. I mean, I feel that applies the same way to, this trend that we see all over the place now of like photographers just editing their photos to death, man. It's just like you see there's like this popular reel of like a gradient, a mask here, a radial here, and then they show the before and after, and the before was just, I mean, flat out most of the time a garbage photo. It was just like a bad, poorly lit photo with a distracting background, no thought put into capturing it. And they're like, look, I'll just edit this to death and now it looks nice. And listen, in the end, it's like, oh, that's actually not bad. So if that's all we cared about, who cares about the way you got there,
The
right?
way, yeah.
But for photographers like you and I, we look at that and we're just like, yeah, but you didn't put any thought up front. And to me, here's why we like doing this in a single frame is it's harder. It's more of a challenge. To do what I just described of take a sharp photo of the bird, let it move on, and then take a slow shutter of a really cool wave crash is kind of easy.
Oh, definitely. I'd have way more images to show.
You could do it a million times. You could take a bunch of different waves crashing. You could make 7 different variations of it, right? All within the same thing. You could have the bird in a couple of different spots, all sharp. Like all of those things make it kind of really simple, you know? And it might look stunning in the end. In fact, it might arguably look even more stunning in the end. But for us, that's not all it's about. We are trying to make stunning photos in the end, but we want that challenge that comes along with trying to capture as much of it as possible in camera, which also means we're going to edit, but we're not going to edit to completely transform the photo into something it actually wasn't in real life when we were there. Right?
And I think for me too, it's a slippery slope. I think it would be a slippery slope for me because if I started doing that where I'm like, okay, the bird's like in a cool spot. Okay, photograph the bird. Okay, oh, well, the bird's gone, but I'm going to stay here now, locked in tripod, and I'm going to shoot all these different waves and then edit. What's then going to stop my mind from convincing myself to be like, well, I know the bird is right over here. Yeah, but this spot over here looks really good. So, okay, I'll take him here, and then I'll take the...
Yeah.
Well, now, like, it's endless. Like, and I know that's, like, where would be the line that you're drawing? For me, like, I'm trying, just like yourself, try to capture it in camera, less editing as possible, compose as best that I can. And like we talked about before, sometimes you shoot to then compose later because of the elements and just, you know, either your position or your focal length or whatever. But do your best to kind of get it in frame as you can. So you don't make any of these crazy changes. But
I think to me, and again, this is just my opinion, it's not factual or right or wrong. That's the difference between wildlife photography and wildlife art, I'll call it, you know? Like so much of some of these things I'm seeing with these like extreme edits, it's just like, all right, cool, but you just turn that into wildlife art. It's no longer
it's not
photography at that point. It's digital art. Like you've transformed that photo so much, you know? And again, going back to like the challenge of it all, it's like, well, I mean, if all I have to do is take a photo of my subject with no care to background, no care to the lighting, and then just sit in front of the computer and apply all kinds of effects to it until it turns out looking cool, if that's all I have to do, where's my challenge? It's a piece of cake. It's easy, you know? All you have to, with how amazing these tools are now, you don't even have to be skilled at masking anymore, you know, at your subject. You can just click a button and Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever tool you're using just grabs your subject and grabs your background, and then you're doing this, and then you're adding in fake lighting with a gradient onto the left, and I'm just making it look like the sun shining in here. It was a cloudy day. It's just like you said, where does it end, you know? There's a difference. Like, listen, I transform some of my photos sometimes, but it's all, I'm just like, all right, I darkened what's already dark there. I lightened what's already light there. I'm trying to keep within the context of what actually was there and enhance that. And I have no problem with that, right? I show every raw file unedited next to my edit. So you can determine yourself if you think I went too far. And I think that's fine. All of these other ones, and this is the interesting part to me, is a lot of these, like these reels I see where I see it as like, that's a really bad example of how to approach photography, is to just be like, yeah, who cares up front? Just shoot whatever and then edit it. But yet the reaction I see is so like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I want to learn how to edit like you. And I'm like, that seems like we're teaching the wrong thing here. But I guess in the end, that's just my take on it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make photos that look that way and doing it by the edit, you know? But it's not what I want, you know? It's not for me.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely.
Interesting side tangent there.
It was. Yeah, it was good. I like it.
So then you shot this.
Yeah, no, I shot that. Yeah, boring. No,
that's cool.
Well, like you said, we've had
Flickr too.
just I'm loving all these birds in the snow lately, and just like I don't know, like I said, it was like this aha moment for whatever stupid reason that I'm loving snow lately, and I don't know, it's just so this is just a maple tree that's out in our front yard, and this morning I had 3 flickers just kind of like dancing around,
nice,
and
dude.
almost like doing like courtshipping and stuff. So I kind of just like snuck out my front porch and was just like creeped out slowly. He was actually on the back side. You could barely see. And I think he got curious at like what just walked out. He just popped right up, grabbed a quick shot.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just fun, but they're just colors stand out so nice on the white.
They're such a stunning bird, man.
Yeah, that snow plastered against the trunk of the tree.
Yeah.
So
it is cool.
Yeah, it's just a quick little shot. But yeah, they're beautiful.
Nice,
they're such gorgeous birds, man.
I still have no really good portraits of the species. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah.
Oh no,
now,
really?
Interesting. I'm just noticing though. Is it maybe just a breeding color? Don't they usually have a mask around their eye as well? Or am I thinking of a different? Huh? Maybe not.
You got me looking.
I don't have my phone. My phone's up there.
I don't think so.
Anyway. No, okay. I don't know why I thought there was like something around the eye as well, but I must be thinking.
And I mean, they're out of breeding plumage now, anyways. I mean, you know, it's winter, so they wouldn't be.
Yeah. But I was just wondering. I'm like, do they change?
No.
Is there, or is it? There's nothing there. Maybe it's like some of the other these like southern flickers over here. Maybe I'm just completely making it.
Could be.
It's probably that.
Just making a random bird.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice, dude. It came out really nice.
Yeah,
and how great when you can just like lean out the door and just pick up a beautiful portrait like that, right? It's the best,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got five flickers hanging around our property right now.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was like, yeah, with the snow, I was like, I'll just take advantage of it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, they're gorgeous.
All right, so in keeping with our topic, right before we started, I set aside a few photos since I didn't have much to show this week, just to kind of give another illustration of this and share something that I haven't shared in a long time. So here's more shorebirds, right? So these are all Dunlin, photographed in a somewhat similar place to you, except it's man-made jetty along the New Jersey coast. And it was at, for anybody familiar, at Barnegat Light in kind of like central New Jersey on the coast. And it's a great place, one of my favorites. I would run workshops there every year to do winter shorebirds. So Dunlin, Purple Sandpipers, Ruddy Turnstones, Sanderlings. Sometimes we get like white rump sandpipers in there. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Anyway, nice diversity of shorebirds there. And then the big draw, everybody goes there, is for the sea ducks. There would be harlequin ducks, long-tailed ducks, common eider, common loon, red-throated loon, red-breasted mergs. I'm trying to think what else. Great cormorant, double-crested cormorant, like all kinds of like nice diversity of ducks and waterfowl in the water. But they're always a challenge to photograph. You're stuck up on, it's usually rough water, unless you get one of those super rare calm days on the ocean. It's usually rough water, breaking on waves in the winter. The ocean's freezing. The rocks are cold. They can ice up. I've been there when it's icy. So it can be treacherous. Not quite as extreme as where you are, obviously, but similar concept, right? And so trying to shoot waterfowl on the water is like near impossible. You're almost never getting water level with them. You're always shooting down on textured water. It just looks a mess. So over the years, I just kind of kept gravitating more towards the shorebird photography because it's in the rocks. You get just dramatic lighting, layering, all this like fun stuff to play with that's not shorebirds out on a flat open beach, which is so much of what New Jersey shorebird photography is. And so, standard portrait in boring light, standard portrait in better light. I got all those things. And then it was like, all right, so what else can I do? And so one day I was shooting, I think this was like midday. I realized, like, coming out one morning, the sun had gotten higher in the sky, and there was water on this one side of the jetty, and this was a Dunlin sitting there, and I started silhouetting it against just the sparkling water, right? So dropping the ISO, max the shutter speed. This was DSLR days, so 8,000th of a second was max. And then F10, and this is when you'd have to like test those exposures, right? Because the meter couldn't barely handle like the extremity of all this. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool, fun silhouette in what otherwise would be harsher light. Like, I'm not shooting the light on the bird; it's gonna look like crap. And then started playing around with like actually silhouetting against the sun. But more so, this made me realize I thought of a concept that I learned when I first started working for a photography studio that did wedding photography. And they used to do this thing, Brad. They had medium format cameras. So Hasselblad cameras is what I learned wedding photography on. And they had matte boxes mounted to the front of them because they would drop in mats to do all kinds of stuff. You'd have like a dark oval vignette. You'd have a light oval vignette, which like somewhat translucent to make like a lighter white edge. And then one of the things they had was, because it was wedding photography and cheesy in the 80s and 90s, right? They had a heart opening that you would drop in there. And it would turn any bokeh ball in the background into a heart shape, right? And I remembered that, and I thought, okay, and I had, this was right around the time when I'd started figuring out, I was really experimenting with shooting through foreground stuff, and I started realizing, like, you know how you can put grasses in like real close to the lens, and you get that shaded or mirrored into all the bokeh balls in the background. And I started putting all this stuff together in my head, and I thought, what if I can shoot in the middle of the day in the bright sun, so like I can't do anything else. And if I can go, and I knew I could get really close to these birds. They're very tolerant at this particular place. And I thought to myself, what if I can go and get so close to the bird, I can make the bird be completely out of focus in the foreground, but its bill or its head would be a shadow in every bokeh ball in the background. And so I did. I went and did that. I shot with a 300 f4 with a 1.4 teleconverter because that focus is really close. Not that it mattered because I wasn't actually focusing on the bird, you know?
No, exactly.
But it was also a lightweight setup. Instead of, at the time, I had the big 500 f4, right, on my DSLR. And so that was going to be challenging to like get that close to the bird with. I wanted like a smaller setup. And so, yeah, I did this, and dude, it was trippy, man. And I'll include a link. I think I still have the video. I don't know if I ever shared it on YouTube. I had it on Vimeo at one point. I'll have to look it up. If I can find the video, if it's already shared on YouTube, I'll link to it. If not, I will, I'll upload it and try and get it there. But I recorded footage through the viewfinder. I think this was DSLR, wasn't it? I'm trying to think actually now. What camera did I shoot this with? It was Z6ii. Z6. So, yeah, when did I do this? Back in 2021. So not that long ago, actually. So I was able, this was when I could record my viewfinder. And so I had a whole video behind the scenes of me shooting this stuff. And then this is probably one of my favorite, where you can really start to see the shape of the bird, right? But it was fun, man. Like that bird is probably a foot in front of it, if that.
Really?
Maybe not even that close. Yeah, because I needed him to be big in the frame to put his shadow on all the bokeh balls. And then I would just sit there and manually rack focus and play with it. I would focus closer to me, and it would change. And I'd focus really far out, and it would change. It would change the size of the bokeh balls. It would change the position of it. And man, watching through that viewfinder, you know, seizure warning for anybody that's got problem with flashing lights, because that's what it was like. It was so trippy. Like looking through that, it was just all the glitter was just moving all over the place. And then you'd see, all of a sudden you'd see like a moment where you could see the bird just like mirrored in everything, you know what I mean?
Right, like especially, I can imagine.
And so it all was in chasing what we talked about in the beginning of this, which is I've been here before, I've shot these portraits before, I just don't want to come back and do the same thing again. What else can I do? You know?
Yep.
And so that's one of the absurd things I came up with.
Because the thing is, too, like, when you visit these locations so many times, there's a good chance you've probably got them in, like, the best light you could probably get. I mean, there's always these crazy sunrises where it's just, like, insane light, which will happen, like, once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you've probably shot them in all the good lights and, you know, got all the different poses and stuff. So why not try something that's out of the box, a little bit different, a little bit, you know, different than what you've already captured. So, and it just, it makes it exciting.
Absolutely.
It may not ever always work out. You may not come home with what, you know, like anything great, but you know, we've talked about this a million times. How many times will you come home with another 1,000 portraits and be like, oh, why do I have this? I already have this shot. Like it's, it's not rewarding. It doesn't feel satisfying, I guess, once you look back.
And I think for me, Brad, it's really where a lot of the using shorter focal lengths come into play is like just what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get a portrait in some of the best light, what else is there to do with the portrait other than have some interesting personality or interesting pose or, like you said, preening or something like that, right? So it isn't to say there is never nothing else, right? There's always something in that. But if it is just mostly my birds sitting there and I've already got them in just some of the most amazing light, if I'm in that amazing light again, all right, now am I doing the same thing again? So that's where the shorter focal length comes into play because, well, that sky might have totally different clouds. The light might be just as amazing as it was on the bird the last time you're there, but the cloud formations could be totally different and getting some color that you've never seen before or the pattern or everything. And if you go shorter, you can start to show that off. You can start to include some of that stuff, right? So you get to actually include the conditions instead of just the resulting light of those conditions, which I think is another reason why I tend to kind of skew that way more often. But like we said in the beginning, I got to be careful to not skew that way too much because I don't want to overlook all the portraits all the time, But it's funny, man. I'll kind of wrap it up with this because I'm putting this together right now. I'm getting ready to go to Florida in a week or two to do the conference down there out of Merritt Island out of Chicago. And they kindly asked me to be one of the 2 keynote speakers for it to open up, to kick off the conference.
Oh, nice.
Which is really cool. And cool. I have my go-to presentation, which is just like about a lot of these different things we're doing here, right? All these different ways of creatively approaching bird photography. That's like the presentation I love to give in this context because it's like beginning of a conference. I want to give people a bunch of different ideas of things they might want to try and think about.
Yep.
And I already have that together, but they had asked, they were like, if you could include, a decent amount of photos from Florida, like birds that we'll see there, that would be a really good tie-in. So, and it's going to be shorter. It's going to be about half the length of my normal, hour-long presentation. And so I started looking into it and just recreating it just from birds from Florida. And I can do the whole thing with just stuff from Florida. Like all the stuff I would normally do. I'm searching Florida in my keywords and it comes up and it brings up and I'm just like, okay, cool. Like all the different like key points and different varieties of other things I want to shoot. I got it all from Florida.
Florida?
Well, because I also realized I've been going down there 20 some years now, or almost 20 years is what it's been. That's how long I've been going down to Florida every year. It was the first year where we didn't really spend a lot of time there. But I'm going to be going there in a little bit anyway. But yeah, it's kind of, it's fun to see that the same thing happened there, right? That's like, I would shoot pretty much almost always the similar locations down there. Just go visit my family and shoot the local stuff. And I still have all the diversity there, which is wonderful to see. But as you know, Florida makes it easy with the birds there.
Well, it does, right? But then again, it shows that because that, well, let's try some different stuff, right? Like you can get creative, you can play around, you can try out a new concept or whatever. So that's cool. That's really cool, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
It'll be fun.
Good stuff.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good, man. I think we did a good job covering that one.
I think so.
For sure.
Hope you guys all enjoyed. As always, stuff. In the comments, as we were talking about and posing questions, we'd love to hear from you. And if you have a topic you'd like us to hit up and talk about and show some photos about, don't hesitate to suggest it in the comments. We're always open for that as well. Brad and I are going to try and keep making these episodes revolve a little bit more around the topic. Usually that ties into whatever we've been shooting recently. But yeah, we want to try and keep it that way and hopefully keep you guys learning some new stuff and pushing you a little bit more out there.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Perfect. Take care, everyone.